What's going on? John from Long Island. It is Saturday, January 18th. I got a bunch of new records in. I'd like to show you 5 of them. Other than that, this is my last video. Nothing really going on. New year. As you can see, I got the Buffalo Grateful Dead shirt on. That's in support of the Buffalo Bills. They're playing tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they advance to the next leg of the playoffs. Tampa Bay, again, out as of last week. I expected it, so it wasn't so bad. But yeah, here we are, and there's always next season, right? So yeah, I do have 5 new ones I'd like to show you. First one off the stack would be this one, Metallica Ride the Lightning, 1984 on Megaforce Records originally. This one's remastered on Blackened Recordings, released probably this year. I don't know, maybe last year, 2024. But again, the only difference between this and the original, this is remastered, and it says produced by Metallica. The original one was produced by Flemming Rasmussen. Anyways, about Metallica, I've said it a million times. I'm not going to go into it again. When I got into them, it was Master of Puppets, and it changed my musical life then on. It opened the door for me, particularly to bands like Anthrax, Megadeth, Overkill, Creator, Flotsam and Jetsam, Sacred Reich, the Slayer, you know, the list goes on. And I was not listening to the other stuff anymore, you know, the stuff I thought was metal. So this album, like I said, 84, every song, it's 8 songs. One of them's kind of a bomb, but Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, From the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black, Trapped Under Ice, Escape, which is the one I really don't love, Creeping Death, and the Call of Cthulhu, which is an instrumental. Jesus Christ, you put this on, forget it, man. There's nothing bad about this record, except for Escape isn't even a bad song. It's just, it's kind of, it doesn't really fit with the rest of the songs. I mean, the tempo of Fight Fire with Fire, Trapped Under Ice, was just ridiculous. I never heard anything like it. And Creeping Death, I mean, that's a classic now. I mean, all of them are. From the Bell Tolls, I mean, it never gets old for me. I don't know. I mean, again, Metallica, first real popular thrash band, and that really paved the way for a lot of bands. But yeah, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Speaking of bands that paved the way for a lot of bands, you cannot go without these guys. Ramones, self-titled debut album from 1976, Sire Records. This isn't an original. This is 2018, repressed. Again, the Ramones is another band I talk about way too much. I think, in my opinion, probably one of the most important bands of the last 50 years. Probably top 3. Invented punk rock for all intents and purposes. You could argue it, and I'd argue that they invented it. Every song on this one's good. Yeah, Blitzkrieg Bop, Beat on the Brat, Judy's a Punk, I Want to Be a Boyfriend, Chainsaw, Now I Want to Sniff Some Glue, I Don't Want to Go Down to the Basement, Loudmouth, Havana Affair, Listen to My Heart, 53rd and 3rd, Let's Dance, which is a cover, I Don't Want to Walk Around With You, and Today You Love, Tomorrow the World. Again, what can we say about the Ramones? One of the greatest bands ever, you know, and New York guys, I'll always support New York guys. This is the classic lineup of the Ramones, Johnny, Tommy, Joey, and Dee Dee, who, if you know, I'm sure anybody watching this would know are not brothers. None of them last name Ramone. The name, the Ramones, was taken from, allegedly taken, when Paul McCartney used to check into hotels. So they didn't know it was Paul McCartney. He used the name Paul Ramone. So that's how the story is, how they got the name the Ramones. This is produced by the drummer Tommy Ramone. Does a great job with it. Every song is good on this. Every song is 2 minutes. You can't go wrong with this. My problem, only my problem, was the only Ramones I had was the Ramones Mania. And I think they had the Brain Drain record. I didn't have the early Ramones. I had heard some of this stuff, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I knew it was Ramones off the bat, but I'm like, I don't have these songs. And I bought the first one, and I bought everyone after that on CD. And I've been a Ramones fan all my life, and hopefully, you know, for the rest of my life, Ramones. All right. Speaking of New York artists, sort of, kind of, I guess you want to say the New York. House of Pain, same as it ever was. Originally released on Tommy Boy Records in 1994. This is the 30th anniversary edition. When I say New York guys, Everlast, originally from Valley Stream. Danny Boy, originally from, I think, Baldwin or Freeport. And DJ Lethal, not a New York guy. I think he's from Latvia or something. But I'm pretty sure these guys met up in California when they were already, well on their way to having music careers, and linked up and formed House of Pain, an Irish rap band or hip hop group, you want to call it. What can you say about House of Pain? I saw them twice in the last 10, maybe 15 years, and they put on a tremendous show. People loved it. It was electric. They were, probably in their 40s and still doing it and doing it well. I can't imagine what those the shows in the 90s, how they sounded, being there. People love it. Now, is the music great? The beats are good. The lyrics, the rhymes, they're a little more mature on this record. The previous record to this, with the jump around on it, was Shamrocks and Shenanigans. A lot of the rhymes sounded like, like Everlast put a great line out there and then struggled to rhyme it. And almost like, okay, I'm going to have to look at a rhyming dictionary to rhyme it. And he would complete the rhyme, and it would be like, almost like a Dr. Seuss rhyme. And my brother said that once and ruined it for me, honestly. Now that's all I focus on. This album is a little more mature, but I got put it on the other night, and again, I heard some rhymes that were really questionable. But it's great. You got to kind of put your prejudices aside for the House of Pain. This got Back from the Dead, Swing It. It's got On Point on it. It's got what else? Keep It Coming. It's got Same as It Ever Was and Who's the Man. I mean, great songs. And again, live is when you really appreciate these guys, and they are something special. I think I had one more record after this, and then that was that. But a special band, I mean, they were huge in my high school. When they came out, everyone loved them. The Jump Around song was huge, still is huge, and I'm sure Everlast made a whole his career off that. So I'm happy for it. And Everlast went on to do other things, some solo stuff, so which was pretty good. And my old band, Death Proof, we actually opened up for House of Pain, not for House of Pain, but for Everlast at the at Revolution. Everlast was doing an acoustic show, and we got on the bill, and we had to open it up. And if you're familiar with Death Proof or any of the bands I've ever played in, they're mostly loud, obnoxious punk rock. So part of this deal was we had to play acoustic, or at least with no distortion. And I remember sitting up there on stage with Nick Greystone, looked at each other, and I'm like, dude, I'm about to shit myself. We had the same feeling, like we played millions of shows, and we looked at each other like, oh no. We had a good show though, man. It was really good. But the only show I've ever played where I was scared shitless to play it. All right, next up, if you're gonna accept House of Pain for what they were, you gotta accept these guys for what they were. This is Motley Crue. This is the soundtrack to the film The Dirt, sort of like the not even a documentary, but the story of Motley Crue. Came out a couple of years ago. Very good. If you're a music fan, or if you're just a fan of movies, it's pretty good. Machine Gun Kelly, he plays Tommy Lee, does a good job. He's a pretty decent actor. I don't really care for his persona or his other music, but as an actor, I think he was also in Bird Box with Sandra Bullock. He did a good job. He's a pretty decent actor, actually. But this is sort of like a greatest hits. It's got the new stuff that they wrote, the song The Dirt, which isn't great. It's got this song Ride with the Devil, a song called Crash and Burn, and a cover of Madonna's Like a Virgin, which are abysmal. But I mean, it has every other Motley Crue song you'd ever want to hear, There's not a Wild side on it, though. But it does a Red Hot on with the show, Live Wire, Merry-Go-Round, Take Me to the Top, Piece of Your Action, Looks to Kill, Shout the Devil, Too Young to Fall in Love, Dr. Feelgood, Kickstart My Heart, Same Old Situation, Girls, 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 Home Sweet Home. Sort of has enough of the Crue that you know and love. And again, like I said, you have to put some things aside when you listen to the Motley Crue. Are they a great live band? No, they're not. They never have been, though. If you look at the concerts from the US Festival in '83, it wasn't great. Vince couldn't sing then. Nick Mars was always a solid guitar player, but way too. They could have used a second guitar player in that band. But the songs, I mean, I just rattled off these songs. Every one of them is a hit, and there's more than aren't on this album that are hits. So I mean, Nicky could write a song. The Crue was one of the biggest bands ever, and that didn't happen by accident. You know, they were great. They wrote great songs. They had a great image, and the four guys in that band, it worked. And like I said, yeah. Do they play the backing tracks now? Of course. Is most of it, you know, fake? Probably. I haven't seen them live since they played with Warrant in the early 90s. That's when I saw them live. 91. But as a kid, and I loved it, of course. I also loved monster trucks. So that there you have that. But Motley Crue, I mean, again, you got to put certain things aside when you put that on, because they have a special place in my heart, a special place in music history as being one of the greatest bands of the last 30, 40 years. Last but not least, this is an album I was trying to find forever. This is not an original, but anyways, this is Mephistopheles' album called Whore. This came out originally in 2019. I'm sorry, 2016. This is an Argentinian doom metal band and one of the better ones. Now again, you could say that these guys are derivative. They sound like Sabbath, all this other stuff. Yeah, and that's the point. But these guys are good. They write great songs, and they have a great image. Like I said, the album covers are always like 70s influence, real psychedelic. You know, there's the back of it. Somebody they're hitting a bong, I guess. Again, this is a repress, and I had to wait for a year to get this. Because it's I don't know if it's pressed. It's definitely pressed in Europe, so it took a while for me to get this. This is on Regain Records, 2024. Originally on 2016. I don't know what label it was on. Probably an independent. But if you like doom metal, check out Mephistopheles. They have a bunch of other records. They're all pricey though, because this is the only one that was repressed. So I constantly look at Discogs, try to find ones for a decent price. But that's part of the fun in in record collecting. So anyways, those are the five. I have plans very, very soon, plans to do a Lana Del Rey video, sort of rating her records from all the ones I have, which was most of them. I don't have the independent ones that she released before, Born to Die. Anyways, I'm gonna make that video very soon, and go over that. And so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Have a great Saturday. Go Bills.